Well, hello. For this short video clip, I just want to bring an idea to you that involves this. It's interesting that I was invited to have dinner with a new local facility director for a worldwide training organization when he first was appointed to that position. In the process of having dinner, it's interesting that one of the things that he pointed out was in a previous place where he was managing, he asked some questions, but one of the instructors came up to him and said, "You're asking the wrong questions," and he was. And that was insightful for him. And I pointed out to him that it's amazing how many coaching clients I have that are not asking the right questions. So the point I just want to throw out to you on this particular day is, do you know the right questions to ask? When you're talking about leading your team or leading your organization in a changing environment, are you asking the right questions, or do you even know what those right questions are? Let me give you one picture. I was actually asked by the National Transportation Safety Board to be interviewed as some follow-up action for an aircraft accident that had happened. And in the process of the interview, which lasted about 2 hours or so, it was interesting that one of the guys who had a psychological background asked me if basically if you looked at the performance of the pilots in training could have been a predictor of the accident. And I pointed out to him, I said, based on you and me, we would have a leg up on that, but I think you and I would even have a difficult time with that, because most people would probably say, sure. But I said, in order to do that, you got to ask some questions that most people don't realize even exist. For instance, I told him, when he got to if somebody struggles in any arena, any environment in our society, if somebody struggles in training but they're signed off for their evaluation, there's a key question you have to ask. Did they get lucky? Or did they struggle, overcome, adapt, and achieve? That's not a question that most people are ready for or can answer definitively. The other question on that is, let's say somebody passes the test and after they struggled a little bit. What is their mindset after that? Is their mindset one that says, good to go? Or is their mindset, here's where I struggled that day. Here's what I learned about myself this time and what I need to do different going forward. You see, one of those insights might be negative. One may be very positive. And I shared with the guy, I said, in order to make that as the deductive, definitive connection that you're asking for, you have to take some of the questions that most people don't even realize and throw in the dumpster. So the point is simply this. It's a good question, and it's interesting, at the end of the interview, the head of the NTSB teams looked at me and simply said, well, thank you for coming and talking to us. He said, because it's clear that you're a subject matter expert for sure. And I just looked at him and I said, we're all in this business for the same reason, and that is to make the skies safe. But the bottom line is, this aspect of asking the right questions is something that is not prevalent in our society. People ask a lot of questions, but are they the right questions? Are they the questions that have answers that are going to get you to where you want to be? And I throw this out to you simply this. As you're leading your team, as you're leading your organization in a changing environment, do you even know the right questions to ask? Do you know the answers that are going to get you there? Or are you asking questions that will elicit the answers that you want to exist? Because very often, those answers aren't really what's going to get you there. So I throw that out to you to think about for this week. Simply take a look at you're leading your team. Are there questions that you're asking that are not the right questions? What are the real questions you need to ask both yourself and your team? And I leave this with you as well. Do you know how to get your team to ask themselves the right questions? And do you model that? So I'd leave that with you for this week.